Hey YouTube, this is Jim. I recently had been challenged to be a little more in depth with my videos. I am by no means an experienced YouTuber, just a guy who shoots. That's all I am. But I kind of took that to heart. I think that there's a lot of explanation needed on my videos. I think if I looked at my channel with a person, with a stranger's perspective, I'd probably be a little confused. I think it's entertaining, but what am I doing, or why am I doing it, or what's the point here? So I wanted to take a second and just kind of be a little more in depth with my adventures. My kind of nickname on my channel is The Adventures with Jim. I've kind of been known around my friends and even in social media to kind of have some oddball weapons, or even just do some weird stuff with guns. Anyway, I wanted to kind of take a second to just be in depth and talk about specifically the last video I just posted. I guess it was the last couple of videos I posted. It was the same match. It is a video of me and a couple friends in a competition shooting some close-up cardboard targets with a pistol. I'm actually watching it in the corner of my eye, just to be thorough, but to be in depth is what my challenge was. But I just wanted to kind of be more in depth with this one. It's pistols and then 300 Blackout is what I shot, and a silenced SBR. But here's the video that's going to kind of help you understand what's going on and kind of put context to what you saw. So I guess to start right off, I joined this club called the Tin Can Club about a year ago, and it's just a couple local guys, and it's not competitive. I mean, it is competitive, but it's not big prize money or fame and fortune or anything like that. It's just a bunch of buddies that just go out and shoot. And largely they are gunsmiths or FFLs or guys who've just been shooting for 50 years. They're very experienced, somewhat old school. There's a lot of bench rest shooting going on, a lot of bolt action pistols and that type of stuff. Anyway, this club, you just have to attend it a few times, and if they like you, they'll vote, and it has to be unanimous, and there has to be room for you. There's a capacity of 20 or 25 members. If there's a unanimous vote, and if there's room, then they will ask for you to shoot a 3-shot group at 100 yards, and if it's under an inch, then you're in. There's a yearly due, and then the biggest perk, I think, besides getting to shoot these matches, is you get a key to the range, so you can go there and practice and do load development and all kinds of fun stuff. So anyway, a friend of mine and I joined last year, and another friend joined this year, earlier this year, and we've had a lot of fun with it. And this match in particular, the pistol and carbine match, is by far our favorite. There's a couple like it, but we shoot every other Wednesday, and this one looks the best on camera probably because shooting a bench rest group at 200 yards is not super exciting. But anyway, I wanted to talk about what I was shooting, and then a little bit about what I have learned from this match, and maybe you guys can kind of take something from it, or even teach me something in the comments. But this guy here is my Glock 34. You do the obligatory check if it's unloaded, and it is. So this guy I bought about 2 or 3 years ago, and just thinking I'll get into pistol matches and I'll have something to actually use. This is kind of an off-the-shelf choice. It's pretty ready to go, but I did a couple other things to it. One of the things I did was I changed the barrel, and people kind of scratch their head, why do you change a barrel on a pistol? Because it's not like you're sniping someone, you don't need a custom barrel. But I did that because I took this gun and my friend's, I think it was a Walther PPQ, maybe PPK. I can't honestly. I'll put in the comments or on the video here what it really was. But they do cut barrels, meaning they're not forged, or they have like a more custom, perfect fit to it. This KKM barrel, I hope it's focusing on there. This KKM barrel is a real nice barrel. It's not cheap, but it's very consistent shooting. So when I shot my standard Glock 34 barrel versus the Walther killed it. And we were shooting on a sandbag at like 10 yards or so. It wasn't that far away, but we wanted to just see how they shot, and his killed mine. I couldn't believe it. I was kind of frustrated and confused why this sweet Glock 34 didn't keep up, but I think Glock puts out a product that's it's going to be reliable and tough, but it's not going to be a match grade, amazing, sniper pistol or anything. Anyway, I chose the 34 too because it has a longer sight radius. So the 17 ends about where this polymer ends, and then the 34 extends out another 3/4 or, maybe an inch or so. So you have a longer sight radius. It's got cutouts to save some weight. It's not ported, meaning there's no holes in the barrel to reduce the muzzle rise. It's just kind of a weight thing. And then I did a couple other things. I changed the trigger. This is the Zev Fulcrum trigger, and that's I think it's the best it gets. It's probably the most expensive it gets. I guess I can't say it's the best it gets, but this kit comes with the entire trigger assembly, the trigger shoe itself, all the pins and springs on the firing pin and the plungers, and all that stuff is new, because all of it kind of goes into making a lighter, better trigger. It's not just the trigger spring. It's about the reset and the take up and the over travel, pre-travel, all this stuff, and it's highly adjustable too. So it can kind of be custom fit. But I did this off camera. I pointed it at the camera. I hope this works. I don't know if you can see it very well, but you can see this real nice rifling. I don't know if it's showing up, but anyway, it's a great barrel, great trigger. And then the final thing I did, it actually has recently fallen off. I actually even lost the screw when it happened, but it's the Zev Magwell. So I'm going to put this together. This is empty magazine. That's what it looks like when it's attached. So it's kind of like a funnel for your magazines. It makes it faster to change mags. It's meant to just slip right in. It does a great job. I like it a lot. I don't do a ton of matches where we're required or we really need to change mags. This Tin Can Club, they don't really have very specific rules. They just kind of say whatever magazine's fine. So a lot of times I'll shoot 33 round magazines just to save the time if I need it. And the last thing I did to the gun, so barrel, trigger, magwell, and then on 4 magazines I have these +5 Terran Tactical mag extensions. So it takes it from 17 rounds to 22 rounds. It also it helps drop the magazine. It drops it really fast, so you're not having to shake it out or anything. Glocks are pretty good with that anyway, but kind of makes it a little nice. And then also when it hits the ground, this is billet aluminum too, so it's not going to break or get damaged at all. Might get dirty and stuff, but that's okay. Anyway, this is the gun I was using. Let me get out of the way of the barrel. This has factory sights. So the 34 comes with adjustable Glock sights, and they're fine. They're nothing amazing, but I am going to change these probably to something else. I don't really, I'm not a pro shooter by any means. I think I did all right there. I actually took second out of about 20 shooters, I think. I did good, but I really don't know the best of everything for sure. I can't be definitive because I'm learning with you guys. So anyway, this is my Glock 34 and I like it a lot. And then the holster I was using, which I don't think is super important. This is a Blade Tech holster. It's pretty affordable. There's obviously a lot that are much more. It's adjustable for the belt thickness and just kind of clicks in there and locks. But yeah, it's pretty sleek and light. I don't know. It's you can adjust the tension and stuff too, or the retention. But yeah, it's a good holster. I recommend that one. And then the maybe arguably more exciting part of the match was the carbine portion. So as you're watching the video, there's a portion where I will be shooting 7 paper targets, and you have to shoot the bottom one first twice in a certain area, a certain zone for the full score. And then there's 3 on the right and 3 on the left. I had to stay within a boundary. If I stepped out, I get a 10-second penalty, which I actually did on the first time. Just adrenaline is going, you forget stuff. But you do 2 shots each and you can do 3, you can do 10 if you want to, just to guarantee you have 2 in the best zone. And then if you get something out of this, there's a center circle and there's about 6 inches. If you get something out of there just barely, there's another zone that's -1 point. And there's a -3 points, and a total miss is -5 points. Each point is half a second. So it's a lot of matches use those same rules or that same point system. But so it's a minimum right there of, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 shots on the paper. And then once you're done with the paper, you can exit the square and run over. You can do a mag change anytime you need to, or never if you don't need to. And then you shoot the steel twice in the chest, once in the head. And the chest it's not, you don't have to hit the flipper on those targets. I think I did hit them every time. I was actually looking at the video kind of laughing that I was going as fast as I could and I hit them every time. But you just have to hit below the neck twice and above the neck twice. And I kept moving as I was doing that just to kind of save some time. And then the next stage was shooting a carbine. And this is my carbine. This is my 300 Blackout SBR. So SBR means short barrel rifle. So the barrel on this is only 8.5 inches long. There's another video of me shooting this on YouTube, and I'll have maybe a graphic right here or something like that that will show that video. It's actually not on my channel too, unfortunately, but it has just about 250,000 views. So this gun has been seen a lot by a lot of people throughout the world. It's kind of been evolving though, slowly, not super a ton, but in the video I explained all the parts and pieces and stuff, and I still get tons of emails and questions about it, but I'll go over it just to be thorough and in depth as my subscribers challenge me to do. So I'll start head to toe. This is a Silencer Co. Saker 7.62. I really love shooting suppressed. It's a lot of fun. It's if you haven't done it, you gotta try it. I think you'll be sold on it. But I think one of the main benefits is safety. If I'm wearing earplugs, or if everyone's wearing earplugs, it's hard to communicate range commands and to be safe that way. With a silencer, especially with a 300 Blackout, you don't need earplugs at all. It's very quiet, and communication can happen much better. And when communication's better, it's much safer. But also it takes down recoil a little bit. It helps the subsonic round cycle as well. If you guys know about gas impingement guns, they have problems when there's a subsonic round being fired. But yeah, this is the Saker, so you can see me through there. This is a really tough suppressor. It's made for just to be trashed and full auto and anything. It's just terrific and tough, and it'll last me forever, I'm sure. As you saw under there, I have a brake mount, so I just attached with a brake. This whole upper was built by CMMG, and they're a big AR-15 manufacturing company. They do uppers and barrels and all kinds of lower parts kits and basically everything you can dream of. The key mod handguard is actually one of the newer things on the gun. In that other video on YouTube on the other channel, this handguard was a different model. And I actually sent this upper back to CMMG because I thought I had a problem with it, and it actually turned out to be the bolt. So CMMG took good care of me, and they replaced the handguard because they had discontinued the old one, and they just did me a favor. So they checked out the gas system, it was all fine. They checked out anything else they could possibly look at, and it was all fine. They sent it back with a new handguard. Then I came to find out I had an issue with a fail zero bolt, and I still love fail zero. Everything mechanical can break. I'm not just bailing on them, but they sent me a new one too, lifetime warranty. So this is the new bolt that I'm shooting. But anyway, this handguard is much better, I think, largely because of these screws here to take off. If you're going to be shooting, or if you're going to be taking stuff apart and fiddling with gas systems and whatever, you want to be able to take off the handguard. The other one was secured by roll pins, and I don't like roll pins at all. That's partially why I've chosen some of the lowers, is they don't use roll pins. But anyway, work my way back. I have a mag pull. This is for the 2-point MSR instead of just the single point, but just a sling holder or sling mount. This is my Aimpoint Pro, and I'll get more into this after I discuss the whole gun, like what I'd change. But I love this red dot. It's just this, 1x magnification red dot. Aimpoint does a terrific job with their technology on batteries and how these things work. The batteries can last 3 to 5 years, and that's in the on position. So they're tremendously long-lasting in their technology with how they use the battery power and things. But comes with the flip caps, and they're custom made for the Aimpoint. It also has this neat locking nut. I don't know if you can see that. When I tighten it down, there's 2 parts to it, and it opens up and it torques itself. It snaps and it torques, so it's torqued perfectly. So that way it's repeatable. So I can take it off, put it in the case. It just comes right back to 0 perfectly. It's pretty neat. Again, the upper is CMMG. I have a BCM, I think it's mod 4. Yep, mod 4 charging handle, just a little extra wheel on there. And then the lower, switch it around. The lower is a Mega, just forged Mega. It's kind of a run-of-the-mill lower. I like Mega's products though. And I built that, and I registered it as a legal SBR. And the trigger is a Rock River 2-stage match, and the grip is a Ergo Tactical. So Ergo makes a couple different styles. This is the Tactical, so it has a bigger palm swell. I got pretty big hands. I'm 6'4", and I'm not a little guy by any means, but it's a great grip. It really fits me well. I actually have it on 3 different ARs, including 122. But anyway, I have a Seekins billet mag release too. It's just kind of a pretty little thing. I'm going to change the safety in the bolt release too, but I just haven't done it yet. Then at the end there's the Magpul CTR. So this is the one that locks, so it doesn't have any jiggle. These usually have a little play, but you can lock it down and it doesn't move at all. Kind of nice, just have a little more solid hold on it. Anyway, that's the 300 Blackout. Let's talk about the cartridge too, in case you don't know. If you've never heard of that round before, I actually have some in my pocket just to keep them separate from the gun. 300 Blackout. Basically, you start with a 223 cartridge, and then you chop it down real short, and you neck it down to up to 30 caliber. So rather than, you can see it's the same exact backside. So you can get it focused. It's the same rim, same primer, and then it's using pistol powder, so it kind of is more like a pistol cartridge. But this bullet is 208 grain. This is 208 grain VMAX or AMAX, and it goes under the speed of sound. So when you're shooting this, it still has an explosion in the gun, of course, and that's why the silencer is so neat. It's because it's going to quiet that down. Most guns, they're supersonic, so they're going above about 1100 feet per second. When a bullet is flying through the air that fast, it sounds like a whip is cracking, but it's constantly cracking. It's a big, it just keeps going. So what the 300 Blackout does is, because it's under the speed of sound, it sounds like you're throwing a rock through the air. It's just silent. So this big heavy bullet going really slow still hits pretty hard, and it doesn't make it cheap, unfortunately, because these are largely made for like a 300 Win Mag or a 300 Rum. But it's a very, very good bullet, very high ballistic coefficient, but you're shooting it so slowly it's still dropping pretty crazy. So that's the caliber I was shooting there. And then actually, going back to my Glock, I load on a Dillon 650 for anything semi-automatic, and I'll do a lot of videos on that too. But this is my 9mm round, and that is obviously red. Looks like a piece of lipstick, or a little, we call it red rocket sometimes too. But this is a really neat thing right here I'm holding, and I got into this recently. If you think about it, standard 9mm, the most expensive part of it, you'd say the bullet, yes, but partially why is because it has copper on it. It's surrounded by copper, and that's partially to keep the barrel clean, and also it obviously keeps lead off your hands too. It's nice. But the big benefit of not having copper is the price. Copper is not a cheap metal at all, and there's a significant amount of money and technology actually covering a bullet with copper and just buying it. So if you take copper out of the equation and you shoot lead, then you have a problem still. You have lead on your hands, and it's not a great substance you want to be holding on to a lot while you're loading or shooting, for that matter. But this is a 124 grain. Actually, this is it's 115 grain if I'm not mistaken. That's obviously a lot sharper taper, but this one is 124 grain cast lead bullet, and it's a high-tech coat. There's a lot of videos on high-tech coating, how it's done, and how you could even do it too from home. But this is really neat because it's the same kind of protection from lead, so I'm not touching lead here. It keeps my barrel cleaner, or my suppressor if I'm shooting suppressed. But it kind of acts like a jacket or a jacketless cast bullet when it hits steel. So when it hits steel, it really just splats like a water balloon. There's no jacket to bounce back and hit me. Once in a while, when you're shooting lead or copper jacketed bullets, you'll feel it come back, and it's not very pleasant. Actually, I've seen guys bleed pretty badly from it. So you can obviously shoot further away, which is nice, or you can shoot something like this that just splats and just kind of keeps on going. So pretty neat little idea there. Now let's talk about what I would change if I was to shoot this over again. That's kind of the biggest benefit to shooting in matches is you get your butt kicked and you get better, and you get better and better and better. And obviously you're going to improve different rates in practice and in matches, but matches is when things go wrong and when you shoulda, woulda, coulda, and we always kick ourselves after matches. But in practice, nothing ever really seems to go wrong, and partially because you're not pushing yourself and doing the full program there. But this is what I would probably have used. It's a lot heavier. This is my 223. It's a SPR, Special Purpose Rifle. So just like the Blackout, it's built off the AR platform. This is 2, but this is a 5.56 or a 223. This is really neat because I can shoot 1,000 yards with this gun, and I have, or I can shoot 10 feet. In fact, I've shot, I think, 3 yards with it in competitions before. So this is just so neat because the optic mostly is the biggest difference. And I think I'm going to focus on the optic mostly. Maybe I'll do a separate video with this gun. But the aim point here is great because it has this little tiny dot, and you put the dot on the target and pull the trigger, and it hits. But even just shooting like 50 yards with a red dot is pretty challenging. I mean, you can hit it, but you can't see if you hit it. You can't correct. You can't confirm that type of stuff. With even just this 1 to 4, you can actually see holes at 50 yards. So this is the Vortex PST 1 to 4, and I really like this scope a lot. I've actually shot this a ton. I actually went to front sight with it, and for 4 days it was kind of the talk of the class. It seemed like a lot of guys loved it. And this is probably what I would have done if I could do that match again. Mostly because my time was incredible. I really shot fast and clean, but the score on the carbine portion could have been much better had I had this. So I took second place in that at about 20 guys, and a lot of the guys aren't super experienced, so I'm not claiming I'm like Rambo or anything like that, but had I had this, I think I could have maybe bested the first place guy. He was shooting a 3 to 9 on about 4 power, so this would have made a lot of sense. So anyway, I'll do a separate video with this rifle just to kind of show you guys and give you guys more reason to watch me. Anyway, it's clear too. Largely the same kind of design as the other one, the Blackout, but different stuff. I'll go over it in another video, I promise. Anyway, that's kind of what I learned. I just want to thank you guys for watching. I know that I'm far from professional. I'm not a professional videographer with all this fancy equipment too, but well, camera equipment. Maybe this equipment's all right. But anyway, if you guys have any questions, or if you want to come, if you find yourself in Utah, contact me. You can email me or just comment below, and I read every single comment for sure. I'm not a huge channel, so let's chat and talk about guns and stuff and what you guys have found to work for you guys. Anyway, I do thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more videos, and please subscribe. Thanks, guys.